hawaii.gov/presentations after the meeting. Again, my name is Shelly Kunishige. I'm with the State of Hawaii Department of Transportation, and I'll be going through the first couple slides, and then our acting district engineer, Randall Haraguchi, will take over from there. And just some light housekeeping. Everyone is currently muted. If you have, please reserve your questions to the end. And if you have a question, you can raise your hand or indicate in the chat that you have a question. All right. And with that, we'll get into our virtual hearing for the traffic emergency zone designation for Kaumualii Highway, Route 50 at milepost 10.1 on Kauai. And so the situation here is that about July 17th, HDOT staff discovered roadway settlement and in the westbound lane on Kaumualii Highway west of Akimama Road. And they did uncover a need for immediate roadway stabilization, which we did with a traffic shift. And they have formulated a more long-term repair plan. And one of the ways we are going to facilitate those repairs is through the designation of this area as a traffic emergency zone, which we are able to do through Hawaii Revised Statutes 264-1.5, which enables us to expedite procurement and waive certain permitting requirements. And the applicable section of that statute is on the screen. If you want to read it, then you can either go to the capital.hawaii.gov and search for 264-1.5, or you can take a look at this presentation afterwards on our presentations page. I'm going to give it over to Randall Haraguchi, our acting Kauai district engineer at this time. Randall?
Hey, good afternoon, folks, and thank you, Shelly. As mentioned before, my name is Randall Haraguchi. I'm the acting district engineer this week for Highways Kauai. So yeah, like Shelly mentioned, actually earlier last week we had obviously known about this pothole area. What we thought was just a typical, roadway subgrade failure. On Friday, after further investigation, we had our paving contractor. I had our paving contractor head out there to just go maybe do a temporary patch. In doing so, we ended up bringing out this milling machine, and the track actually fell into this hole. And after doing some further excavation and exploration, we found at about 4 feet below the surface, there was this pretty large void, which we believe to be, at this point in time, an old irrigation tunnel, but that is yet to be determined. We have been talking with some archaeological historians. I did just have a meeting with them today, showing them pictures, and they find it hard to believe given the area and basically this hill shown in this the top left picture in the slide. It's kind of, the highway is kind of in the middle of two cuts, and there's a lot of material. So he thought that it was kind of surprising that there might be a tunnel, 4 feet below the highway here, that someone might have dug, because from what we can tell, it's not concrete, it's just earth, just dirt. And it basically goes from the Mauka side of the highway at an angle back towards the southeast across the entire highway at, this edge line here. on the westbound side, it's about 4 to 5 feet below grade, and then it drops down as you go further towards the Mackay side. On the Mackay shoulder, it's probably about 15 to 20 feet deep from what we could tell. But, on Friday, we only had opened up the hole a very little bit. So we're peeking through a very tiny hole. We didn't want to open up more than we could cover. So currently, obviously, we have some steel plates on the highway. We did talk with our geotechnical engineer, and based on the pictures that he saw and, FaceTiming him on the day of the exploration on Friday last week, he thought that, this has been in this condition for probably, over a century just based off of the maps that we have. It doesn't necessarily show this tunnel, but it does, it's very close to a concrete culvert that we identified from some 1933 as-built plans. And so that is still intact to the west. And this looks to be some kind of offshoot, but we don't currently have a map for it. All that being said, his recommendation was, since we know that there's a void under the highway, is to fill with, concrete material, flowable fill, just to stabilize that whole entire area. That plan is to do that next week, Wednesday. Obviously, there's a lot of coordination on the contractor side that we got to get coordinated. So why we're not doing anything right now, we still are trying to do a little bit more investigation and get things in place. So I guess with that being said, are there any questions?
Thanks, Randall. So again, if you have any questions, please raise your hand or indicate in the chat. Okay, I see one question from I saw Leonard Phillips raised his hand. Yeah, please keep, Leonard Peters raised his hand. Please keep your hand raised and I will unmute you. So please keep your hand raised so I can find you and unmute you. Thank you. Okay. Okay, your mic is, you can unmute now. You're now Leonard, so please go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Leonard Peters from the Quiet Bus. Just wondering, with the work going on here, are there going to be a weight limit imposed? Currently, we run a route through there with our electric bus. So wanted to see what the weight, and if there were going to be any weight restrictions.
Yeah, Leonard, at this point, no. I think we're just status quo. Obviously, we feel like the plates are sufficient for the area that failed, and the amount of cover we have in the area of the highway that's still open is sufficient. Yeah, so we don't expect to impose any weight restrictions. When we do go ahead and do the work, we're just gonna do a lane shift. The thought is just to reopen the hole and to start placing fill that same day.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, I'm seeing one from Councilmember Cowden. Give me 1 second to allow Mike and go ahead. Okay, Councilmember, you can unmute yourself now.
What kind of time frame are we looking at for this? Is just basically the size of the highway, right? It's maybe like a 30 to 60 foot area that we need to fill. So do we have an idea of how much time when it will be corrected? A couple
So
months?
I no. I think what we estimate is probably, so on the high end, without kind of just initial estimates based off of what we observed on Friday, and mind you, we couldn't see very good into the hole. It was kind of late afternoon, evening, and so any pictures that we got or visuals on the hole were kind of just estimates. But we estimate it to be about 8 foot wide, roughly 6 to 8 feet high by the length of the width of the highway. So we're talking anywhere between 2 and 400 yards on the high end. So typically, that's about 20 to 40 concrete trucks. And we would be doing that probably within a day, two at the most, to fill that hole completely. But like I said, we still are going to be investigating on Wednesday of next week. So once we open up a hole, we'll get a better idea of the exact need. But if it is closer to that 200-yard range, we'll do that in one day.
Okay, so
Yeah.
probably in a few weeks it'll be fixed.
Yeah. So yeah, we're estimating, I guess, with all, as far as the main thing is stabilizing the hole, but with all of it, not more than a month to do the asphalt paving and restoring that lane.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
There are no other questions. We'll give it about 3 more minutes to take us to 1:15. Again, we will place this presentation on our presentation. Oh, we have one more question from Leonard. I believe you should, yeah,
The lock towers on the left.
Yeah,
be
sorry.
able to unmute yourself now.
I just wanted to confirm the work we're planning on starting on Wednesday next week.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to confirm that. Thank you.
That's
And then Leonard, you can see the hours. So the start time would be 8:30, and this will be added to our Kauai roadwork list for the following week. We'll give it about 2 more minutes for questions. One more minute for questions. Okay, the time is 1:15. If there are no further questions, I will end the meeting. And again, this presentation will be placed on our presentations page on the hidot.hawaii.gov website. Thank you.